Yes. A warm good afternoon to everyone gathered here. As you all know, today we have a guest to share her views on the topic School is a Social Awareness Center. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest, Ms. Sumina Mol ma'am, who has graciously accepted our invitation to join in today's session. She is the Assistant Professor of VK College of Engineering and Technology, Kollam. We are honored to have you, ma'am, with us to share your insights on the topic. School as a social awareness center. On behalf of NCDC 74th batch, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you, Sumina ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. I would also like to welcome our pillar, our support, and our inspiration, dear faculty Rahmat ma'am, to the session. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you. And my dear, hearty welcome to the session. Now, I would like to call Trilling team for the welcome song.
Thank you, Ria ma'am. So a small welcome song from our side. With a smile on your face, with a joy in your heart, with a love in your heart, we welcome you the class. With a smile on your face, with love in your heart, with joy in your life, we welcome you the class. We are glad you are here. We are glad you have come. We are glad you are here. We are glad you have come. Hearty welcome, grateful welcome, joyful welcome, great welcome. Hearty welcome, grateful welcome, joyful welcome, great welcome. A warm welcome to you, Sunina Mol ma'am, to the 74th batch of NCDC.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Samina ma'am, the section is all yours.
Okay. So if you could start, first of all, let me introduce myself from my part. My name is Subna Mole, and I'm actually from Kollam. Is there anyone from Kollam in this batch?
Yes. Yes.
Where?
Ma'am.
I'm from Kollam.
You're from?
Kollam.
Exactly.
Now I am in Kottayam, but my childhood is Madanada, you know.
I'm in Mayanad, nearby place only.
Oh.
Yes,
okay,
I know.
okay.
Actually, I'm from Mayanad, Kuttikara.
My mother's place is Karikod, you know.
Yes, I know. Actually, I did my BTech from LBS College at Trivandrum, and my MTech was from TKM. TKM is actually situated in Karikod.
Karikod.
So 1 or 2 years I have spent there actually.
Oh.
Okay,
Nice
so that was okay, same to you. Okay, that was just a brief introduction of me. I'm currently in my college. I think you can
see the black
guess it from the setup and all. Yes, I'm actually currently in my college. This was something that I took earlier on. So I think we can just begin.
Yes.
I'll start by using my PPT itself. If you could please share it.
Yes.
Okay, so if you can't hear me, just tell. I'll just switch the video off. If there is any kind of network problem, you just inform me by chat or something. I'll just switch off the video, and then I think it will be okay.
Yes.
Okay, am I audible right now?
Yes, ma'am, audible. Clear.
Okay. So once again, very good afternoon to one and all. I have been entrusted with this task of a lecture on my views and opinions on the topic, School, a Social Awareness Center. So I would like to begin by just breaking down this topic. We can just look what the term social awareness actually mean. So if you could move to the next slide. Okay, thank you. So here I have just given the definition of what social awareness means. To quote it, it will be like, it is a consciousness of the problems and challenges that is prevalent in the society. They're not actually living in a very perfect society. There are flaws in people, there are problems that we face, there are challenges that we come across. Actually, to deal with this in a most appropriate way, a person should be socially aware. He or should be aware of how to behave, how to kind of like know what the other person opposite us is thinking, how he or she is. So we have to have an overall idea of the situation. Then we can we can say that that particular person is very socially aware. So this is just a vague definition. In this definition, we cannot say that every aspect of social awareness is being covered. So what I would like to do today is that I'll just break down and I'll impose or I'll suggest some places where a person can be found to be socially unaware, and what all things that a teacher can do in order to convert him or make that child into a socially aware person. So moving on to the next slide. Ma'am, next slide. Okay, thank you. Okay, so when does a person become socially unaware? What all actions we can just point out and say that, okay, he's doing this thing and I claim him to be socially unaware. So what all are those all those things? Is cracking jokes at a wrong point or at a very wrong time and at a very wrong place? Is that the reason? Is making inappropriate statement in front of others? Is that a wrong statement? So actually, this is a very vast space, and I'd like to point out my take on some of the things that would help us to deem a person to be socially unaware and to help him to get over that. Okay. So, ma'am, next slide. This is one of the first and the most important thing that I would like to suggest you. That's all. If you have any kind of oppositions to what I'm saying, you all can just raise it right now. There's no problem for that. This is just my take or my view on how I see this thing. Okay. So first and foremost thing, a socially unaware person might be or will be actually insensitive to others' emotion. He won't be able to understand how a person opposite to him is feeling right now. If I am socially aware, then I'll think, okay, this person is getting hurt at the way I'm talking or approaching to him. So I must do something to avoid that situation. But if a person is socially unaware, he would not give any consideration to the emotions of the person that is opposite him. He would be totally insensitive. So that is a very big problem that can be found on a socially unaware person. Okay, now moving on to the next point, ma'am. So, a socially unaware person can often find it difficult to make friends with other people. So, he or she might not know how to understand the wavelength of certain group behaviors. He or she won't be able to communicate effectively with that bunch of students, and which will lead to that particular child to be isolated and away from the general group and be alone sometimes. So finding difficulty in making friends is kind of a behavior that can be found on a socially unaware person. Then, ma'am, next slide, please. Another thing we can see that is the lack of respect of boundaries. So actually what I said earlier and this point is kind of two sides of a coin. Like that we can say, okay, if a person is not mingling with the bunch or not able to form friends with a group, then that is a problem. That is one extent. Another extent of this situation is an overly friendly person. An overly friendly person might not know the boundaries that the individual opposite to him actually set. So some people doesn't like others to cross that boundary and breach into the personal space of him or her. So it is just like the two sides of a coin. On one extreme, if a person is socially unaware, he won't be able to make friends. On the other extreme, if he is socially unaware, then he won't have the respect for the boundaries of other people and will cause some kind of misunderstandings and chaos in a group. Then next slide, please, ma'am. Then another thing, I'm not suggesting that all these things, all these kind of behaviors will be found in a socially unaware person. We can find either one or two or three of these behaviors, and in some extreme cases, everything can be found in a person. That is one of the worst case scenarios. I'm not telling that that will be that much common. Okay, so discussing this point, from the picture itself, I think that you all know that some children have the tendency to go against the rules. So if we are saying them, okay, please do this, they will actually do the right opposite of that, quite contrary behavior. Following certain rules is kind of a thing that is commonly found in a socially unaware. So that itself, it might not be a problem. We will actually find it amusing. As elders, we might find it amusing, and sometimes there is a chance from this houses and all that they'll be appreciating, and they'll kind of be cheering upon these children to find kind of amusement in that. In the childhood, okay, we can just leave it. But as the child grows and become an individual, this is going to be a problem. If this goes away, then well and good, no problem at all. But if this behavior persists, then the child will be facing a very hard situation on when he goes into adulthood and all. Next one, please, ma'am. Another thing that I have to propose is the limited perspective taking ability. So if you look at this picture, we can see that according to one's perspective, it is 6. But according to the perspective of other person, it is 9. Everything is well and good if the person who is reading it as 6 understood that, okay, the other person is reading it as 9, and that is due to a difference in our perspective. If a person is thinking in such a way that, okay, it is also okay, I am seeing 6, he is seeing 9. There's no problem to that. If he's understanding that concept, then it is okay. But if a person is so adamant on the fact that, okay, for me, this is 6, and for everyone else around me, this should be 6. No one should identify it as 9. So then there's a problem. So this is something that is needed to be taken care of. This children, they should be made to see things in a varied perspectives. If he or she is not able to do that, then that is showing signs of a socially unaware person. Ma'am, next please. So this can be clubbed with that what I said earlier. Here, some children find very difficulty in adapting to social situations. That is, if we bring a person or a child, we can just talk in the context of a child. If we are bringing in a child to a social gathering or something, this kind of some children will find it very difficult to be there. They have a tendency to just leave from that room. They won't be able to just be in that situation. It will be very suffocating for them. So that is also a problem of social unawareness. If a child is socially aware, he will be able to just mingle with that situation and just have fun with the bunch. But in some cases, that is not the case. They will be some kind of away from the social situations. They would find one way or the other to avoid the situations and most probably sit in home. Next one, please, ma'am. Another thing that falls under the category of a socially unaware person is a tendency to become socially isolated. This social isolation, usually we call it by the term introvert, I think. So they tend to be introverted or socially isolated because of being socially unaware. They don't know how to mingle with others. They don't know how to enter into a conversation, how to take on a conversation, how to be comfortable in the company of others. So this everything just scares them, and they finally goes into kind of an isolation. If we don't identify and help these children at this stage itself, that is going to be a problem in their later career, life, or in any aspect. Next one, please, ma'am. So another one of the problem that we can see in a social unaware person is the lack of social reciprocity. That is the concept of sharing, kind of like give and take approach. If someone is giving something, okay, it is okay to give back something, or kind of a sharing sense is not there. We can call them as selfish in kind of a way. So give and take is something very important, because we are human beings. We are living in a society. We are not like kind of an independent island or something. We are not like that. We are all part of a social institution. So there is need for this give and take approach later on in life in every point. So if a child is not able to cope up with this and understand this approach and act according to it, then that is going to be a very big problem. Next one, please, ma'am. So to sum it up, I'll just say, socially unaware person, just as I have mentioned in this picture, he won't be able to navigate through a social situation, won't be able to form a meaningful relationship with others, will also be kind of stranded, and will not be able to communicate well with others, and as a result of which won't be able to contribute anything to a group or a community. So some of these problems can be found in a socially unaware person. Might be. We cannot say that always it is like this. A kind of a mix of this can be found like that. Okay, next one, please, ma'am. So now, who can bring about a change? Now, we are now actually moving on to a topic: who really can bring about a change? Who has the potential to identify this and change the children? So there are two aspects to it. One is, of course, their parents. But we can say for every parent, his or her child is actually perfect. Right, you all have some of you might be parents. Your child is perfect, and some of the issues that may face, some of the challenges that they may face, will not be visible to you. You want sometimes there's a chance that you want to identify these things. So there comes the part of the next important person, that is none other than the child's teacher. And there comes the importance of school itself. So here from this picture, we can see that a teacher, he or she should provide guidance to these children, should provide support in whatever way possible for this child to overcome this situation, and also knowingly and unknowingly create opportunities for this child to overcome the situation. That is possible only with a teacher. She or she can purposefully create situation or opportunities in which the child will be able to go through these kind of difficult situations and can learn by himself to overcome these challenges. So the part of a teacher and a school in this context is very large. In our current society, most of the parents will be working. They won't be able to find that one side of a child where he is suffering from all these situations. So there comes the importance of a school. So a basic thing, what a school means, is it just a building? Of course not. There are building in a school. We usually call a building with a lot of facilities schools, but it can never be a school. A school is a person where is a place where a child can learn things. A child can grow, can improve. So just not physical buildings. And by learning, I'm not just meaning academic learning social awareness and the things related to it, growing in every aspect is a very important contribution that a school makes in a child. Usually we can identify certain children from certain schools. Okay, usually it's not right. but we can say that okay, this is straights and okay, he's from that kind of school. Usually we just tell it as kind of a mockery, but setting jokes aside, we can say that if school can cultivate some things, these kind of find out these behaviors and cultivate some good things in these children, then that place, we can call that place a school actually. Next one please, ma'am. Next one, ma'am. Okay, that's kind of over. Okay, so how we can create the social awareness in the children? What can a teacher do? What all things should a teacher consider? Okay, there will be a great aspects. In the first session, we saw that there are certain problems. These problems make a person socially unaware. So, what all things can be done as a remedy from the part of a teacher to overcome the situation? That is what we are looking in this session. So, first and foremost thing that I have to say that we have to teach our children to stand up for other people. And there is a pretty good reason for me to put this point as the first one rather than other things, because I think you all be reading newspapers and all, and quite familiar with the condition that is happening in our country, in our state. There, if a student, he died recently, and if any other fellow student from his class could inform the authorities or inform his parents or whatever, or just stand up for this child and say that, okay, this student is being harassed. Someone should do something about it. If the other child just stood up and took talk in his part, then this would have happened? I doubt it. So there will be certain situations in which certain children will be facing such kind of bullying or something. We must teach our children from a very early age to stand up for others, to recognize that this person is being treated badly. So you should stand up, respond, inform others, do something for him. So this is a very important thing. So standing up for people is one of the most important thing that as a teacher, you and I and every one of us should teach our children, so that none of the other parents or children could be in such a misery. Next one, please, ma'am. Another thing that we can do is to help them to communicate effectively. So being socially isolated, not able to mingle with a group or a social gathering, is mainly because they don't know how to effectively communicate. Blabbering throughout the day doesn't mean that a person can effectively communicate, that a child can effectively communicate. In order to effectively communicate, a child should be an active listener. He should listen to what the other person is saying. He should know how to respond in the right measure. I'll say like that, in the right way. So listening to someone, understanding what the other person is conveying and responding to that in a most appropriate manner is a kind of an effective communication, and that we should teach our children. School is the most important place where I can do it. If I am really proud to say that if my teacher once, when she identified that I had an ability to talk, I just developed on that. So that was a very important thing in my life. And till to this date, I'm really indebted to my teachers who helped me to get over my stage fear, to talk in front of others. So that's kind of a thing that as a teacher you can do. Then next one, please, ma'am. Okay, so this actually, when we are doing something, we can say that small children are like sponges. Whatever we do, they kind of like a sponge, they will absorb that and will just deliver that in the most inappropriate places and movements.
Yes.
Will lead to mocking us. So that is a very important thing that we can see in each and every time. So why can't we use that to our advantage? We can show these children that, okay, you can be empathetic to other persons, to other teachers, to other children, or you can help them in this way. So if we are practicing all this in front of these children, just like a role play or something, just like they're imbibing all these unnecessary things that we find unnecessary. Okay, the child, they don't know that. So like that, they will just imbibe and act, or that becomes a habit. These good things they will just imbibe, and that actually becomes a habit to them. So this can be done by a teacher, and starting it from very small classes, it is a great thing. And as a teacher, I think this must be really practiced in schools and all. Next one, please, ma'am. Another thing, we can say that we have to train them to walk in others' shoes. One of the first and foremost thing that I told in the first session of this presentation is that a person who is socially unaware won't be able to feel the emotions of the person who is opposite to him. So if we teach this children that we have to think from the other's perspective, or otherwise we have to make them aware that okay, you have to think from the other, might be feeling down of because of this reason. So
Ma'am, your voice is
feeling.
breaking.
So that, hello,
Ma'am,
ma'am,
your voice
is it okay?
now okay, but your
Hello?
screen is stuck.
Okay, ma'am. This session, from this session, right, ma'am?
Yes,
This
yes.
slide, right?
Now only. From now only.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we have to train them to walk in others' shoes. That is to think from others' perspective, so that they will be good to others and will understand the emotion of others and act in such a way. Next one, please, ma'am. Next slide, please. Then another most important thing, this actually comes under effective communication, but it is so important that we have to give a separate slide to it. We have to teach these children to be active listeners. So that is one of the most important thing. A person who actively listens only can only understand and act in the most appropriate way in a situation. We have to teach them not to just talk continuously, but to listen to what the other person is saying, reciprocate his feelings, and act in an appropriate way. Next one. Okay. Another thing that I have to say that we are in a very diverse culture. Okay, we are from very different places, very different homes, very different situations, very different ethnicities, backgrounds, and all. So and so. So these children should understand that when a child is seeing another person, another child from some different background, be it his skin color or something, attitude or talking style or something. We all have different accents and all, different dialects and all. So we should teach that children that, okay, we all are different. Yes, that's very important. We all, then also we all are same. We are different in many aspects, but we all are same. We are just human beings. So making them understand that we are then he won't take that pleasure in mocking others. In social medias, we can see that some people are finding it's quite amusing to mock at other people's photos or anything, just unnecessarily, even if they're not related. So teaching children that, okay, there are different people, you must accept others for what they are. You are no better to comment on others' attire or anything. So we have to teach them, and that can be that seeds can be sown when they are in small classes where they're reading books or engaging practices where this diversity is quite evident, and they should be aware of this. Okay, these kind of peoples are there in this planet. I might face, or I might have a kind of conversation with them at any point of my life, and there I should be open to accepting them as they are. Okay, same goes with, I think, in the case of transgenders and all. Now we are kind of learning about them, and children should be made aware of all these things and all. Next one, please, ma'am. Okay. Another thing is that we have to make these children feel that they are an important part of the society. Okay. usually we can find people just littering and just destroying these streets and all. So they are saying that, okay, what? I'm a single person, I'm doing. So what? This is kind of their attitude. I can do it, no problem. You all shouldn't do it. It is not like that. Each and every member has a significant contribution to the society. So we must make these children aware of that and practice them all these things. That if you should be perfect in every aspect, then only your country can be perfect. I think if we practice this thing, then we can just avoid the common dialogue that, okay, why should I do it? This is country's fault. This is that person's fault. This person's fault. That is not, situation is not like that. Also part of the society. So what all problems and problems that the society have, you also have that. You have a kind of responsibility to rectify it if it is yours, and to make others rectify if someone else is doing all that things. Okay, next slide, ma'am. Okay, so these are just small children. A lot of the things they just can't identify or think. So in order to make these children aware of the other person's emotion that is opposite to us, then we can use pictures and all, just a small exercise and all. We can make them identify, okay, these are certain emotions. When this emotion comes, such and such state of mind, so deal with them in such a way. If we can devise methods in which we can instill this in the most simple